to Nintendo for providing me the game to make this review possible. Super Mario Bros. Wonder Plus Meetup in Bellabel Park is a souped-up re-release of Super Mario Bros. Wonder, and it is developed and published by Nintendo. With several titles getting the Switch to Switch 2 port treatment, all including brand new content to keep the fans of the original invested with, Nintendo decided now is the time to give that same treatment to our happy plumber with Super Mario Bros. Wonder. However, was this the right title to re-release and give fresh life to since its 2023 release? Or are there other candidates that deserved it more? Only one way to find out, so let's go! Gameplay. Oh man, we're back again with some more 2D Mario goodness, but this time adding in some extra flair to the mix with additional content called Meetup in Bellabel Park. I played, beat, and reviewed Super Mario Wonder back in 2023, and back then my overall consensus to the main game was that it became my favorite 2D Mario game since the original NES trilogy. Oh yeah, it got that high a praise from me, especially considering how fatigued I had gotten over the new Super Mario Bros. Series. After the new Super Mario Bros. Series ran its course, Super Mario Wonder came onto the scene and gave me the feeling of yes! Now this is what I was waiting for! Which of course was true blue unapologetic creativity and overall wackiness that you missed since the days of Super Mario 3 and even Super Mario World. The franchise finally had that feeling back once more for its 2D entries. Playing through the newest entry into the 2D franchise felt like a playful ride through an amusement park, thanks in large part due to the Wonder Seeds that transform each level into wild and overly trippy courses that can make your head spin with some of the absurdities that they take on. But even though they're weird, they're all unique to each other and enhance your overall experience with the game, which again is due in large part to the meticulously handcrafted levels, gorgeous environments, and improved character animations that gives Mario & Company a more Showtunes-like animated variety in their exaggerated movements and facial expressions. With Wonder Seeds being the star of the game that when grabbed creates slithering and wonky pipes, multicolored areas that is something out of the pink elephant scene from Dumbo, turning into a long stretch Mario figure, becoming an actual elephant yourself, which of course I bought the amiibo figure it's based off of, becoming a rolling ball, etc. The madness doesn't end and only continues alongside new mechanics and power-ups such as Bubble Flower and again Elephant Form that allows you to soak up and spray water or bulldoze blocks and enemies. Obviously, in the main game, your traditional powers return like jumping, spinning, fire flower, but with the way the levels feel like they require you to deep explore them through underground caverns, using a dolphin kick ability to swim faster to complete challenges, balance yourself on giant snowballs, find hidden paths, gameplay twists you didn't see coming, a decent amount of replayability with a 6 to 8 hour story that has you collect standees, and even bonus missions, that pushes it to an easy 15 to 20 hour game. It's just absurd. So even if old school power-ups weren't here, honestly you probably wouldn't care to be fair. But if Elephant Mario isn't in the next Mario game, oh man, you better watch out cause I'm gonna rage out. He's too dang cute, look at him! Even with that huge number of positives in regards to the base game, I did have some gripes overall with it, such as badges when they grant you extra abilities can make the game a little too easy and can also make it to where you won't get a game over in the game unless you're actually attempting to do so. Unlockable and playable characters outside of Yoshi and Nabbit, who are your easy mode characters, don't feel distinct from each other enough to warrant switching to another character during the main story too, but the inclusion of being able to buy 1-ups whenever you want to can cheapen the experience a tad bit. But overall though, for the core Mario Wonder game, you won't find much better in the world of platformers. It oozes creativity, fun, and joy that only Nintendo can muster up, even though many have tried. But what of the actual new content added to this version? Is it worth buying full price? Worth getting with just the upgrade pack? Well, the answer to that is, depends on you, honestly. With the new additions of the Nintendo Switch 2 edition of Super Mario Wonder, now with the Meetup in Bellabel Park moniker, you get treated to a resolution bump that results in 4K and a solid 60 FPS, at least when you're playing in docked mode that is. And alongside that feature involves various new forms of content as well, which of course is Bellabel Park, a brand new area for you and a friend to discover, play, and explore at your leisure. Much like the Super Mario Galaxy movie is doing with bringing back my boy Warts, who I have been whining about wanting to make a comeback for years now, so too does Bellabel Park as the Koopalings make their comeback, and of course, just like Bowser himself, are also up to no good like crazy little jerks, as they have stolen a much desired treasure known as the Bellabel flowers. Your job, of course, is to get the flowers back from their clutches, because if you aren't going to do it, then, Who else is going to do it? Surely it won't be Wario. He's probably ripping people off with a money scheme or entering a who has the best fart contest. Which obviously Wario will win. Bro is the undisputed champ, and I know he'd have my vote. If you've played the base game already, you'll feel right at home as this current adventure takes place in the many other areas of Super Mario Bros. Wonder, making people who are annoyed of area revisits maybe a tad bit miffed, but trust me. With new transformation power-ups added to the mix that lets you toss flowers to do flutter jumps, albeit not as cute and grunty strain-worthy as Yoshi with his flutter jumps that sounds like he had too much Taco Bell. Still, it allows you to revisit a multitude of stages, but in a brand new way that opens up the level diversity or paths to take, similar to the way New Super Luigi U did with revamped levels on Wii U. Same principle applies here, to be honest. Speaking of Luigi and Year of Luigi back in the day, can we please get Year of the Pudgy Mario Elephant, complete with the elephant spin-off games and plush dolls? The amiibo I bought isn't enough. I need more! Give me what I want, Nintendo!
I'm in control here. And you're gonna give me what I want. You know what it is. Give me what I want. Give me what I want!
Ahem. Because Koopalings are jerks, they make you run around all over the Flower Kingdom in order to reclaim the Bellabel flowers that they have stolen. And each of these stages that you chase them to include a brand new boss fight to partake in, featuring a Koopaling who has gotten a hold of their own version of a Wonder Seed, and much like they affect the environment and the way reality works in the main game, so too does the absurdness raise to a whole new level with the Wonder Seed usage from each Koopaling due to each of them having their own unique transformation with the seeds, alongside a gimmick that pertains to the stage as well, all of which ends up becoming one absolutely ridiculous obstacle course that you as the player have to run through and make it past before ultimately you end up in a boss fight against a Koopaling that takes everything you thought was weird in the base game, flips it on its head, and gets even crazier here as each fight is more over the top than the last. These boss fights alone, in my humble opinion, trump any of the fights that take place in the main game, beating them in the categories of creativity, enjoyment, and using what worked in the original core game, expanding it and broadening its ideas, similar to the way Nintendo treats their 3D Mario franchise, with every entry feeling new, bold, fresh, and capitalizing on ideas that worked prior. For example, Galaxy 1 to Galaxy 2. Although part of me in a sinister way wishes that Nintendo would throw in a gag boss fight for these games for the humor of it all. Cause can you imagine you beat all Koopalings, Bowser, and who knows what else, and then you hear a faint evil giggling, only to reveal the final boss is none other than Luma Lee. How epic and utterly terrifying would that be? Make the battle a similar style to that of the final Bowser fight of Yoshi's Island, and you've got nightmare fuel on your hands, in the best way possible. Amazing new boss fight additions aren't the only things added to this version, because there's also Toad Brigade Training Camp, which is basically a glorified tutorial mode. But in a good way, mind you. But a tutorial still, in general, hidden behind the guise of a new mode, similar to how video games hide loading screens behind moving slowly between objects for no apparent reason. Though, Toad Brigade isn't that boring, and is actually pretty fun if we're going to be fair, because not only does it give you specific levels to take part and play in, but each one of those levels offers different challenges to take on with objectives to complete, like special conditions. Some of those conditions will be complete this level on this difficulty, collecting a specific amount of coins, defeat enemies, etc., all of which have to be accomplished before your time runs out. So in a sense, it's both a tutorial and a speedrun guide. Well, count me in, I'm all about speedrunning. Is it the most vast quantity of content for this mode? No, but the challenges offer enough variety and grow more intense the more you complete. So it's definitely worth the time and effort to try to complete them. These challenges amp up to the degree that it makes you feel like you're playing on an older 2D Mario game due to the difficulty of some of the levels, and it just makes you take what you learned all those years ago and put all that skill to use just to make it out successfully. And that's saying something for Super Mario Wonder, considering back in 2023 when this title first released, one of the major gripes that people had with it was that it was too easy, mine included. But Nintendo saw my complaints along with others griping about it and pulled their version of Michael Jordan's, and I took that personally, and made Toad Brigade Training Camp basically the response to all of us. And to that I say, thank you, Mama Luigi! that this game is a little bit on the easy side, especially considering that it's hard to get a game over due to shops selling you 5 1-ups at 100 coins a pop. So if you
Beat me
hit
down a
2,000
little bit.
coins after several levels, you've just bought your...
That's all I needed. That's all I needed for him to do that, and it became personal with me.
Finally, this Switch 2 edition, you are offered the multiplayer mode, mainly focused on local multiplayer options. So make sure you find a buddy to play with, a family member, or even your own kids, because there's a pretty good amount of content to choose from that ranges from 17 co-op and versus mode that have you partake in games like Hot Potato, but using a freaking bomb. Like, what the heck? Isn't that a little dangerous? As a kid, I was told not to run with scissors, but here I am, playing catch with a bomb. I don't think my mother would approve. But don't worry, should you be forever alone and not have people in your life to team up with for whatever reason, fear not, there's still much fun to be had for all of you as well, because your online friends can now play alongside you across 6 game modes, which include platforming races that offer you a chance to play fair and square, or to be cheap and betray your friends like you're playing Human Fall Flat. Relive your playground days with a rousing game of tag, which offers tons of chaotic fun and hilarity, etc. They're all fun in their own way, and are more of a side destination rather than the main attraction of this package, that of which being still the main core game. Luckily, there's actually incentives for doing multiplayer tasks, something Nintendo has been very good at this generation, making the tasks you do actually feel warranted and meaningful, and it's no different here in Bellabel Park. By completing challenges and multiplayer shenanigans, you earn water, which is able to be used on plants scattered all across the Bellabel Park map, which gives you brand new unlocks like flowers to trade for upgrades to the park such as cosmetics, new emotes to use a la similar to how it worked in the Mario Party Jamboree, dual badges that are exactly as it sounds, with giving you access to equip 2 badges this go around, making you even more overpowered than you were with just 1 badge. Good lord, Nintendo, are we trying to get Mario and friends to reach their version of Ultra Instinct in the Mario universe? Cause that's definitely where we're heading. Although combining 2 of them with different abilities does make for some pretty interesting outcomes, so mix and match and see the different combinations you can come up with. No playthrough of these modes will be the same for anyone, which is awesome. A couple of the upgrades just make me feel like Spider-Man as I swing via vines, making me feel all like, there goes my hero, watch him as he goes. Overall, at the end of the day, Super Mario Wonder Meetup in Bellabel Park was a unique and fun experience with tons of content to play with its minigames, its challenges, new badges, new power-ups, fun multiplayer for both local and online, being able to play now as the goddess herself Rosalina, as well as use Luma with normal controls or mouse controls in co-op for less skilled players, or even your young ones, so they too can play as they use Luma to defeat enemies and collect items, all without worrying about getting a game over or taking damage, which goes hand in hand with the added assist mode that allows you to be saved from pits and other hazards, which is perfect for families with younger kids. But while all these are great, the hang-up for a lot of people is going to be the pricing, hence why I stated before that it's really up to you. On the one hand, if you already have played the base game, then you'd be paying $20 for the upgrade, which definitely isn't bad, especially if you have friends and family to play with local and online for intense gaming sessions. But if you aren't that into multiplayer regardless, obviously it will be a harder sell for you to warrant that purchase. I think the same mindset can be used for people who don't have the base game already to purchase the title on Switch too, because buying both together would bring the pricing up to a total of $80, which is a bit steep for some people. If that's the holdup, then you can't go wrong with buying the base game for $60 at all, and then if you decide after that you still want more of that Mario fix, then feel free to upgrade to Meetup in Bellabel Park. All options are totally up to you. But if I have to verdict it, personally, the core game is worth the purchase alone, and adding in that many extra hours of multiplayer content on top of the already 10 to 12 hour plus main game, it can offer you and your friends hours of enjoyment behind the main story. So in that regard, to people looking to jump in for the first time, I'd say it's definitely worth taking a look, especially if you love 2D Mario. So with all that having been said, my verdict is clear. Game and Chick says bye now.